Okay, and welcome back to Say What? Najua hii topic mmengoja, hata mimi nimengoja. Kwanza kusikia from one of our guests, Hot Shay. Now we are also asking you guys and we want you to chime in. As always, mnajua how we do every Saturday night. Talk to us on our WhatsApp number. Nataka kusikia vile mnasema. We are asking you, is living with your parents as an adult a sign of delayed independence or success in life? Yani haujiwezi, yani unishibayo na wapero. What does this signify? Does this really signify that you're not successful in life? Ama, what is your take? Talk to us on our number. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Now, let me introduce my guest tonight. Hoch Muhoro, how are you doing?
I'm very fine.
You're happy to be here, proudly.
Yes, na mjue masaa, gate inaweza fungwa.
Gate ya mzae.
Closes at 11.
Mzae anafunga gate.
Closes at 11.
Kwa hivyo lazima kuwe home before.
By 11.
Na nakupigia simu nakwambia uko wapi leo?
Niko sure karibu ku-text.
Ukuambia wa watch?
Niliwaambia wa watch.
Wana watch, so watakutime.
Wako tuned.
Sasa unasikia hiyo?
Yeah, nasikia hiyo.
Hiyo ni kali. Kwanza, you know, as we start, we have a clip that we want to play from, tulichukua from your Instagram. Wacha tu uone vile maneno iko kwa kina Hotch. Let's just watch this clip before we continue.
Happy Mother's Day. Unajua leo ni Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Sasa nilikuwa nakuuliza unataka nini? Jote unataka? Sema kenye unataka.
Kenye nataka? Nataka uhame.
Si hivyo mama, azini tunataka.
Uhame.
Unajua na record mama.
Hata mama anasema anataka uhame.
Haijabidi azoe.
Hata mama amesema anataka uhame.
Aliacha kusema. Alizoea.
First, let's data before we get kwako, Lydia,
yes.
Our able counseling psychologist.
Yes.
What do you think about this whole topic? Ni economy inasumbua watu, ni bills, ama tunataka na mami?
So I thank you so much for that question, because Babu, when I saw it, I laughed. I honestly laughed. The reason why I laughed, it's because I had seen someone who had an issue around the kuhama thing. Sababu, for him, the mother wants him to hama, but he doesn't feel ready.
And now, how old roughly?
36.
Where?
Yes. Lakini hayuko ready kuhama.
Hayuko ready kuhama.
Na haoni kama kuna shida na hiyo, right? So it's important for us to look at what are the factors that make someone choose to stay in their houses or with their parents compared to others. And I must say there's nothing wrong with somebody staying in their mother's house. Actually, I think that's a good thing to some extent. Depending on, as a person, if you're adulting, if you are transitioning as an adult, there's someone who stay in the mother's home or in the parents' home, but they're still depending on the parents for emotional support and regulation. They are still depending on them for financial support. They are still depending on them for even in terms of decision making. Yani yeye haizi jimekia decision, haizi akajifanyia chochote na ko in there anaenda to their 40s.
Yes,
I think there's something wrong there.
So there's a disconnect there.
There is a disconnect. There.
Okay.
So we will need, maybe as we continue having conversations, maybe to look at what are some of the factors we need to look.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's not entirely wrong, lakini there's some certain limitations.
Yes.
All right, Pastor Sue, you have two sons.
I have two sons.
Ufike 36 waseme bado tuko hapa.
Tutafanya toa lini na munene. I think for me, I would take it on both sides, as Karimi has said. I would also look at it from two sides. There are sons and daughters who feel comfortable staying with their parents. And there is nothing wrong with that, as she has said, as long as you are transiting from this other life to this other life. There's no problem with that. However, there's a challenge with those who fear to take responsibilities, like what we are saying about paying the bills, making decisions, people who fear what will happen, because there is this warmth, there is this comfort that comes with staying the family members, which is okay. But I would say that for a man, as the word of God says, the Bible says that a man shall leave his mother and father. And I keep wondering why the Bible did not say a woman will leave. I think it's because it's automatic. When we get someone who loves us, we are likely to leave everything for the sake of this man.
Absolutely.
So I would want to go the Bible way, because God said that the man should leave his mother and father and be joined with his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. I remember also the man of God called Abraham. There's a time he stayed so much with the mother and the father for many years, over even 50 years with the mother from when he married.
Yes, yes.
And God had to speak to this man called Abraham and told him, leave your mother and your father, and I'll show you where you will go. I think because there's that comfort, there's that, you know, that love that you receive from your mom. You know, the love of a mother is the most genuine love. The care and the guidance of the father is the best guidance ever. And so some of us, we just feel like we would want to stay there.
Yes, yes.
But it's good also to understand that there's also another life that you need to live as an individual, so that now you can take position of your life. However, you need to also transit in a very careful way, depending from one person to another. Like I've seen sons who are born alone. Let me say, like Pastor Munene, it's like he was born alone, although he has another brother, but it's like he stayed for too long with the mom. I always find him wanting to be, he wants to be where the mother is. And that's okay. And when I understood that, I brought the mother nearer to where we stay. Because my children have an advantage of seeing Shosho every day. And it has been psychologically seen. And also, Karemi would say that children who grow with the presence of their grandparents are very balanced, because they're able to get the feminine energy and the masculine energy, both from the mother and the father and from the grandparents. It has an advantage of it. However, it is important for us to know there's a time that will come and we have to leave. That leaving is not easy, because we are talking of you now taking full responsibility over your life, over your decisions, your judgment, your choices. And sometimes it's very uncertain. You really don't know where you are stepping out. But that stepping out, you find what you're fearing is not real. That's what I've found. Like I remember I used to work. I've worked in the hospitals for quite a long time. And because I used to work in a hospital where my father was nearer, he wanted to give me a house because he has these flats. And I kind of felt like, because I'm the firstborn, it's like he really wants to hold me so dearly. And so I told him, Dad, in the hospital we have the staff quarters. I would want you to allow me to stay there, so that it is very easy for me. If I'm called, I can be able to get to the hospital and back to my work. It was a very tough journey, but I had to explain to him. But I felt I had grown so close to my mother and dad, and so I wanted to also have my life. And so it comes a time when you feel you really want to have that life, because you also have a life to live. And sometimes you're a bit limited because your parents do not know sometimes how to put boundaries. They still look at you as their child, not as a matured daughter, but they look at you as a child. And sometimes you feel like mommy has mishandled you, like daddy has mishandled you. So you have to be, it is you as a child, as the son or the daughter, to maneuver to accommodate your mom and your dad, but not your mom and your dad to maneuver to know how to handle you. So that's a challenge I find of boundaries. And so this is a very important topic to discuss, because it is real, it is with us, and we need to get a solution. But for me, there's nothing wrong, and also it is also good to live. Yeah, so it depends from one person to another.
All right.
Oh yes.
Hoch, coming to you. First of all, I'd want to know why are you staying with your parents? What is the situation? What is the story? Mbona bado uko home? Mama nataka uhame.
Heri kelele ya mzazi kuliko kelele ya bibi.
You gotta be kidding me. Oh my God.
Yes.
Anyway,
Nasema bora kelele ya mama.
Afadhali hiyo ya kuosha vyombo hapo. Sijui fanya house chores, hiyo nilizoea. That I can deal with on the daily, you know.
That one.
Kama kesho, I know tomorrow is Sunday. I usually make breakfast. So I know kesho I have to be early, because kesho I'm making breakfast. That's my routine. Yes. But apart from that, unfortunately, I lost my sister. So and we were only two of us. So after I lost my sister, I thought the only way I can be closer to my parents is being with them, staying with them, because they have no other person. So I'm the only person that they have, and
So that's the reason that you decided to stay home.
Yes, that's primarily the primary reason that I decided to let me stay with them. Let me, as they grow old, I want to be closer to them.
Wonderful.
So let me ask, so had you already left them and started life on your own, tried to build a family before you decided to go back home?
Yes, before my sister passed away, I had left, but once what happened.
Yes.
And I decided to go back home and live with
right.
them. In fact, nowadays I say I don't live with them, they live with me.
Oh, they live with you. But nyumba ni ya nani?
Ni yao, lakini sheria pia mimi na sheria zangu hapo pia.
Wow, thank you.
Kuanga na sheria zangu.
Uko na sheria zako kwa nyumba yao?
Yeah. Kwani niliwakataza kunywa sukari. So there is no buying sugar.
There's no buying sugar.
Yes.
Interesting. So your sister sadly, pole sana for that, you know, she passed on, and you decided to go back home.
Yes.
So that means you were there, you were somewhere, you had your own home.
Yes.
I know you have a 6-year-old daughter.
Yes.
Sasa family, ulisema family tu iende tu hivyo?
Hapana, tulikuwa hiyo time she passed on like three years ago. And we weren't together with the mom, but we are cordial. And I usually take her every two weeks or so, every other weekend. So tunajuana, and she's a very good actor.
Okay, all right.
A very good actor. Zile vitu wanaonanga tukifanya.
Zile wanafanya
ukifanya kama ameanza kureplicate.
All right. So you and your daughter have that close relationship and everything.
Yes.
All right. It's a very interesting scenario.
Yes.
And do you think you want to, if the way you guys are so close, because we see in the videos, first of all, how do they feel about you being home and coming back home after everything that happened? Were they shocked and they say, tutakuwa tu sawa, endelea na maisha yako, or they were welcoming for you to come back home?
During that time, we were going through the grieving process together. So when I came back home, they didn't see it as a big thing, because it was my way of, you know, because I was in a mourning period. So it was my way of just, you know, just letting it go. When we were together, I never thought really about the mourning and how my sister was not there. And with time, they got used to it. And now,
Ukaendelea tu.
nikaendelea tu.
How long has it been since that happened? That you started living together?
That was 2022.
Okay.
So it's 34 years now.
3-4 years. Na sasa hauoni ukitoka?
Bana. Sio nangi.
Uonangi ukitoka home?
I'm so used to staying there that in fact when I go for a date naambianga msichana, do you know I live with my parents? Are you willing to come live with us?
Allah. So hey, unasikia hiyo? So sasa in case upende tu msichana
na ukikataa hiyo ni red flag.
If you don't, okay.
If you don't want to live with me and my parents, that's a red flag.
Okay, so for you that's the arrangement that in the future she's going to come and live with you and your parents.
Yes. Hopefully.
Wow. Sikuwa na expect your story. Wow. Lydia, talk to us about that. The fact that for him it was a different, it came from mourning, grieving, decided to go back home. But of course there's so many factors and reasons why people still live with their families. First of all, your thoughts on that and also the reasons. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I'd really love to empathize with you. Losing someone that you really love, and I'm imagining that you are both you are the only, that was your only sibling. Was she younger or older?
She was younger.
She was younger than
3 years younger.
So that was a baby sister.
Wow.
So she plays a function in your life, and losing her at that season must have been tough. And I still believe that you're not yet done grieving.
Grieving never ends.
Yeah, so grieving never ends. I love that. And so when now after explaining this, Betty, I understand, you know, how he had to transition this way, because you may never know how he would have grieved, taken the grief when he was alone. Living alone. People go through the grief processes differently. There are people who experience the shock, denial, go through anger, bargain, depression, you know, and there are people who are not able to navigate around the stages of grief when they are alone. You know, grief is very personal. You cannot, we cannot generalize grief, yes? So for you, that is what you needed at that time. And the fact that it has worked for you, then it is valid, all right? It is valid.
It is valid.
And the fact that even the parents are okay and they've accepted and they have appreciated, that is a good, it's a very good thing. Of course, now we go to the other factors apart from that. What are the other factors that make people inform people to stay with their parents for a long period of time. Sometimes it's a culture issue, okay? There are some cultures whereby as a child, you're expected to stay, get married, stay, like I see the Hindu culture, most of them live with their family members, yes? So that is normal. There is nothing wrong with it, yes? Now, the other bit is some parents are not comfortable with someone leaving the home, okay? It is not, it's not a culture, it's not a family culture that is appreciated. And from the beginning, they were, you know, as children, you're told, by the way, you stay in there, you grow, you get into adulthood, you get married and come with your partner, and that is the kind of a family we want. But for others like myself, my husband has been having conversations with our children, and he's very categorical. You get to 18 years old and you should be out of the house. 18? Yes. So he's been taking our children through saving, learning how to manage finances, so that by the time they're getting to 18, they are out of the house. Wow. Okay? So, and also some of the conversations I hear him having with them is you should even be able to take care of some of the part of your college, not necessarily fees, but even your upkeep. Yeah. So whenever they are on a holiday, because we run a family business, whenever the children are on holiday, they go to work. They make their money, and the money is saved. So they've learned, they began learning responsibilities at an early age.
How do they feel about, you know, dad saying this in an environment where a lot of young people are opting to just stay at home with their parents?
Yes. Now, for some of I have 4 children. Yes. So some are very comfortable and they are very happy about it. My dad
can't even wait.
Yes.
To leave.
Yes. My dad born is always worried. Ask me, Mommy, am I going to really leave the house when I get to 18 years old? Yes. So I ask him, you've had conversations with your father. So whatever you discuss, that is what you're going to stick with, okay? Now, that is our culture. That's our family culture, right? Yes. Now, there are other people who stay in their parents' spaces because they are going through financial challenges.
Yes. Yeah,
you do not have a job, Betty. So how do we expect you to go look for a house, feed yourself? You do not have financial muscle to take care of yourself. Yeah. Sometimes it's one of the parents or the 2 parents are having a sickness issue. Okay, it's an illness issue. A parent, you have to take care of them in their old age or so that some people go back home to take care of their parents. So the factors are so many. However, there is this other category of people, of individuals, that stay out of fear. They are afraid of taking responsibility. They are working, they are earning, they are making the money, but they are afraid of paying the bills.
On their own.
On their own.
Okay.
And this is where now therapy comes in, because we need to understand, where is this fear coming from? Okay? What do we need to unpack? As you were growing up, did you feel overly responsible? You took so much responsibility that at this age you do not want to feel to pay bills or take responsibilities. You are longing or you're craving for a form of attachment with your parents. Yeah. So there is that. There are others where who already as they have grown up in their adulthood. Yes, they have as kind of a culture that they've spoken to themselves, or they've told themselves that, you know what, I will not leave because this is what I want. And the reason why I want this is because I maybe want to challenge the societal expectations or something like that. So people stay in their parents for different reasons.
Pastor Sue, coming to what she's saying about fear. How do you deal with that? Because it's very true. Even from the comments, I'm sure we'll also see more. Many people are very fearful of the responsibilities, the economy. Even somebody who has a job, a proper job, they still have that fear. How do they navigate that? And is it also a must that we move out of our parents' house? Now that it looks like it's not the worst thing.
I want to say that fears are brought up by the way we are brought up. Especially the environment that you grew up in. And as Karimi has said, if you are not taught by your father or your mother to take responsibility of a few things, then there is that fear. I grew up in a family where my dad would involve us in business. And so I really longed to also have my own businesses that I can manage. Because of he started engaging me when I was 5 years, 7 years, 8 years, and he would give me a lot of money to handle. And that made me detach myself from money. In fact, for me, I don't have money madness. There's no amount of money that can make me...
Can shock you.
No, because Dad introduced me that from when I was quite small. And so some of these things come through that, especially girls. And I want to say this to all the men who have their daughters. Learn to spend time with your daughter. Daughters learn a lot from their dads. And sons learn a lot from their moms. And so this mom must be complete psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually to be able to raise a very strong son. And also a father must be psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually strong to be able to raise a very powerful daughter. It all begins from the foundation. And so one of the things that gives us fear is when I grew up seeing my mom struggle financially. So something tells me, what? If I also step out of this, I don't know what I will eat. I don't know what I'm gonna pay my rent. There's that fear. But if I was brought up by a mother who was financially stable, my dad was financially stable, and they would bring their finances together and make the family run in the right direction, then I'm likely to get away on how to navigate my life. So that comes because of that fear of not knowing. We are very uncertain of what is going to happen. And that comes when we are not well introduced about money, because if you see the fears around all these things is about money. Paying the rent, paying the school fees, you know, all this paying the bills, it's all about money. Why? And this is something that we need to correct. Learn to introduce your children money as small as they are. There's a principle, I don't know where Pastor Monene got this, and I wish parents can buy that, and it has stabilized our children even when they were young. When they are in for holiday, I find my husband would do this. Give my firstborn 3,000, my secondborn 2,000, and the little girl 1,000. Then he would tell them, I want you, together with the house girl, to sit down and manage the whole week, the foods that you are going to eat. Dania, nyanya, itanunuliwa wapi, you know, that kind of a thing. And then on Saturday, he would sit down with them to get to know how much they spend. Because of that, it helped them manage money. Come and rent, the days when we were renting, he would give them money to count. You know, and as they counted, you know, something left them. They knew that money is a medium of exchange. Money is not something you die for. You get the point. So we have to introduce our children money as young as they are. Even take them to the bank. If you have a friend who works in the bank, let them go to the bulky side. Let them see 10 million. And that money madness comes out. Because the reason why people are fearing is because you've never seen money together. Even some get money, they don't know what to do. They take it to their mother. They give their wives. They give their husband. That's a sign that this person was not known how to, was not taught by the parents how to make money decisions. And because of our upbringing, that brings a lot of fear, you know, within. I don't know whether you are aware that so many women have secret accounts. Secret accounts that the husbands don't. And also men have a lot of property they have invested. And we are told by CBK and Safaricom that there's billions of money that is not unclaimed, you know, is unclaimed. Why? Because there's that fear of feeling, if I tell you what I have saved, you might take advantage of that. But if you came from a family whereby you saw your father, your mother discuss about money, and I want to introduce this to we are not the standard, but I've seen it works to the children. Learn to involve your children in money decisions when they are quite young. Even if you're struggling, I have seen Munene becoming vulnerable to our children and telling them, it is not possible for me to take you for a holiday. Why? We are struggling financially. Our businesses are not doing well. However, we are trusting that in the next 1 year, 2 years, we will take you for a holiday. That's very important because children are able to know, oh, there's a debt being paid. That is training with this. That comes with the money openness, having the openness of money as a mother and a father, and that raises children who don't fear responsibility. However, they want to step out and also exercise what they saw daddy and mommy doing. So this is something that you cultivate as a parent when the children are still very young. You don't wait for them until they are adults. Remember, during our time, Gen X and the people who were born in 1960 and 70s, ungepatikana na pesa, ungechapwa na mama ujue, Yesu ni Bwana. And so we were put fear about money. Fear. So when we get money, we are kind of like some, they just become extravagant. We go to drinking, we waste the money. You get the point? Because we don't know how it. But if I saw my mom and dad doing a few things, investing, putting it in MMF, if there was something like that, that's what I'll grow doing. So it all comes from the family unit. And that's why the mother and the father must be transparent when it comes to finances, so that our daughters and our sons grow up knowing that responsibility is part of life. Responsibility is not something you run away from. It is something that you embrace so that you can be able to make right judgment, choices about money, and step out knowing that you are whole. And doesn't matter the challenges that you face, you are well able, equipped to conquer all the challenges of life. That comes from the parents. So that's very important.
Absolutely, from the foundation.
From the foundation.
All right, thank you so much for that, Pastor Sue. All right, I can see we have so much feedback coming in. Let me just sample one or two before we get to Hodge. This one, unasema unahama aje na hii economy, wazazi walihama wakaniwacha. Wakaenda wapi Moses? Moses from Naivasha. Okay, somebody here, it's better to live to gain experience of survival and plan for our future generations. Somebody here has a very deep one. Maurice, you're saying, a few weeks ago, my folks visited me, wakaona vile nimengangana na bills, and they're requesting me to go back home, niondoke, rent, and invest that money in a business. Should I go back home? Ama nikazane na adulting? Kindly advise. Thank you, Maurice, for that. We will tackle that. Somebody here, an adult should move out of his parents' house. Paying bill is part of their responsibilities. Victor from Kisumu, this is a building talk or conversation. Okay. Another one here, hey TV47, I'm following up on the discussion, and the major problem with our boys and girls, they don't want responsibilities of taking care of bills. Secondly, majority also want soft life, which they will only get when they are staying with their parents. Okay, there are very many. Keep them coming. Hodge, let me come to you with regards to that. With the following like yours, the one that you have on social media, do you educate people to know not all circumstances when it comes to staying with your parents is good? There are those ones that obviously, like you mentioned, you're taking care of your family, but sasa kuna ile ingine I'm just a lazy bum. I don't want to work. I don't want to do anything. Yeah. And how do you feel about the two different scenarios? Yeah,
there are people who are like that. I know a cousin of mine who just doesn't want to move out just for the sake of it. But people have different reasons why they don't want to move out. Especially now that there are a lot of young people who don't have jobs. So they are thinking, the jobs that they have, they're not well paying. Yes. And society, the pressure of society, you want to live a certain lifestyle, and since you can't afford it, it's better I stay in my parents' house and maybe save a few coins here and there, be able to buy a car. If I'm renting, I won't be able to buy that car. Absolutely. But if I'm in my house, I can be able to buy that car. Also, for me, like my parents, for example, they live in Nairobi. There are people who their parents don't live in Nairobi. That one cannot be able to live with a parent. You see, but for a person like me my parents live in Nairobi, I mean, I think of it like it's a saving in itself, But I pay bills. I pay bills. I can't stay like that.
Yeah, you can't say that. And I think it's very important that you mention.
Yes, I pay some bills.
So do your parents still work? Are they still working?
No, they are retired, but we have a family company. That's the one that we run.
All right. Yes. So you're saying, still to question what you've just said, so you still pay the bills at home?
Yes.
So say tunakaa tu mehepa bills.
Hawezi kubali.
I
love that. Thank you.
So things like electricity, I pay electricity. 2 times I do shopping.
Wow.
I'm responsible. I don't just sit and bum around and just wait for them to do everything.
Okay. Yes. So now coming to the cousin that you're saying that is just, is a lazy bum. Do you normally get comments or, feedback from people saying that hata mimi nakanga tu home? People who are proudly just staying at home, no plan whatsoever. And what can you say to them if they're listening? Yeah,
there are also people who tell me, come to my inbox and tell me I don't have a job. So when I see you living at home, it makes me feel better and all that. But like I said, different people have different reasons. There is a story mentioned there how your husband used to give, he gives your children a certain amount of money. Our parents are from a different generation.
Yes.
Yours are not. If my dad, I'm sure my dad is listening. If you can give me like 100,000, I can manage.
Thank you.
The whole.
You still welcome home. man from him.
I can be able to manage for
yeah.
him. But that's good advice,
Yes.
teaching your children to manage their money
yes, very
from a young age, because most people don't know how, don't have that financial literacy. When they move out, you know,
they're confused.
Yes, and the pressure, society pressure, you know, social media pressure. You want to live a certain lifestyle and you can't afford it.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
so that might force you to go back home because you can't sustain the lifestyle that you're living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find people on social media criticizing you about you still staying at home? And
Yes,
do you
yes.
know, how do you feel about that?
At first it was a challenge, but now I'm used to it. I'm not man enough, you know. But at the end of the day, they don't know my reason why I'm living with my parents.
Yes,
you know, on social media, someone will see a post and just think, this is an irresponsible guy, and all that. But I got used to it. I got used to it now, and when I ignore them, I just filter out such comments.
You just filter out.
Yes.
All right. So now coming to to like daily living and everything. Yeah, you mentioned earlier when we were starting the show, like, you know, the lady who you're gonna be with, we know has to be very comfortable, you know, coming back home.
Yeah.
So how do you like? So do you bring, like, you know, like a lady at home? How does that play out? Just like a normal guy, unajua. Ikifika sasa mtu na kambo unamletanga
najuanga ile siku madhe ako na chama. Ile siku madhe ako na chama najuanga. Mostly sana inakuanga second Sunday of the month. Na chama na mzee na yeye anaendanga sijui mahali. So najuanga hiyo siku grau inakuanga empty.
Oh my goodness. So unapanga.
Unajipanga.
Akijipanga pia mimi najipanga.
No, are you for real?
No.
You say that?
Yeah, but I go for dates. Yes. Yeah. I'm a guy.
Actually, we have a video with regard to that. But let's just watch this first.
Hi, what's up? How you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You can have a seat.
Are you sure this is your house?
Ni ya wazazi wangu, but wanakuanga ucha, wanaishi ushago. You can get comfortable.
12 seconds later.
Alright, did I just hear a knock?
Sasa?
Mbona umerudi mapema aje?
Kama imeisha mapema. Uko na mgeni? Uko na mgeni?
Oh, it actually
Based on a true story.
Uko na mgeni. After sasa amepata mgeni, what happened?
Tuliongea. Tulielewana.
Sasa ilibidi mgeni aende sasa.
Tulielewana, nilimficha.
Come on. Nah, that's not movie.
Nilimficha.
Alafu mama kaenda bedroom ndo akatoka.
Sasa ile time alipotea kidogo. Hata alitoka bila viatu. Viatu nilikuwa nimeficha.
Oh my goodness. Wewe hiyo yako ni kali. Oh my goodness. So you're able to still maneuver.
There are still challenges.
Yes.
There are still challenges.
There are challenges here.
Yeah, I would ask you, what other challenges do you normally face, and what are, as an adult living apart from the dating? Yeah, and you can't bring a girl home, or you know, if you want to. What else?
Also, curfew.
For real, the curfew is there?
Yes, they get closes at 11. Like my dad is watching. They get closes at 11.
What?
That is...
so that means you can't go out with
past 11, yes, exactly. Past 11, I have to be back home.
What?
If I'm not back home, niende nilale kwenye niko, nikuje asubuhi. Na hiyo ni kesi. Mbona, na kama following day ni kesi. Yeah. So also inanifanyanga nikuwe disciplined. I know hata nikiwa mahali na marafiki ikifika saa 4:30
lazima ukimbie home.
Lazima nikimbie nyumbani.
Even if you're on a date, lazima uambe tu.
No, I schedule my dates for daytime.
Oh, daytime.
Siku isilete, unajua tunaweza furahia sana time iende. Na sina kwa kulala.
Oh my goodness. You're on another level. Lydia, let's talk about the person who's just texted us. I mean, for her, is a very different scenario, and it looks like you've already, umeingiana na kila hata parents wameingiana na process. But there are those ones who are struggling maybe financially. That one who's saying, my parents visited me, wakaniona na struggle. Should I go back home? Like, at what point should somebody just feel like, okay, it is actually okay to I tried, but this is not working, I can go home, and not feel so guilty about it, or like a failure about it?
Yeah, I think one of the things we need to agree is that the experiences that we go through in life have the capacity to either bring us down or mess our self-esteem, or they have capacity to stretch us to a point whereby we make it. Okay. We make moves that actually build our confidence and our self-esteem. Okay. Like now in this particular case, there are quite a number of dynamics around the life of this person that I'd love to sit down with in a therapy room. We explore together. I'll look at his attachment history, look at what has caused him not have a job at this particular time. Could it be it's a discipline issue? Could it be a performance issue? Could it be it's other factors that can make someone not have a job? There are quite a number. So
jobs.
No jobs, exactly. Maybe it was redundancy or something like that. Now, he's in a place whereby he's struggling. And in my mind, how I'm picturing struggling, this means maybe anafanya vibarua hapa na pale, ana manage kulipa bills kidogo, kama ni shopping ananua kaunga kale kadogo, badala enough food stuff, all right? So the parents have come in and realized that he is really, really struggling.
Yes.
So what options do we have, Betty? We have an option to downsize.
Downsize?
Yes, that's an option.
Okay.
You are paying a house rent 23,000. Can we get to 5,000?
Okay.
So that you can be able to afford. We have other options that we can look at, like people share houses. Okay, you get one roommates. Yes, we can take a 2-bedroom house. You get one, you live in one, another one lives in another one. Because I feel, in my opinion, there's something we call differentiation, and differentiation is your ability to be able to separate from your family of origin and be able to take charge and take control over your own life, take responsibility without necessarily depending on your parents or other people doing it for you, right? And this is a very important aspect of a human being. Remember, this is a man. At some point, if you look at the future, we'll expect him to get married, to have children, right? We'll expect him to pay bills and ensure that he leads the family during the tough times and the easy times. Yes. So if he keeps retreating, now when you have your family, mother and children, are you going to retreat? Are you going to give up? Or are you going to find coping mechanisms to be able to survive, right? So I was looking at Jesus. You know, Jesus lived with the parents up to 30 years, until when he was 30 years old. Yes. And at the point when his calling was shaped, he had to go out and to go out to ministry. And he stopped living in his parents' family. And I was asking myself, why didn't he continue living there? In my opinion, there are some things that he needed to learn along the way. There are decisions that he needed to make out there. His calling was demanding. Sometimes he was working up to late at night, okay? He did not need to retreat and come back. Yes. And for us, if we are asking when is the best time for us to move out of our parents, it's not dependent on age. At 22, at 35, there is no age factor here. When are you feeling ready? When are you ready to emotionally separate and take care of yourself, regulate yourself as an individual? So for this person, I would say it's important to sit down with someone who can help him see other factors that affect his life, and also be helped to come up with solutions, options that would actually work for him. All right. Yeah. Got you. All right, yes. Pastor Sue, coming to another angle to look at it, for the parents who are living with adults and they want a hame, for them to move out and detach and start on their own. But that conversation is very hard. How do you start such a conversation with your child who's there? He's your child unampenda, but even for you as a parent, you're seeing now it is time.
I think it should start with the mom. If it is a daughter, it should start with the dad, then later on, the mother talks to her, then they come together. It works very well. Even when you want to communicate something to an adult, I have seen it works very well. If you have children like I have who are big, learn to talk one after the one with another, get the reasons, then after that now bring either the father to also listen to the reasons, and then we are able to tell what is the appropriate time.
Okay.
We shouldn't also chase our children in such a way that they are emotionally wounded. Remember, they are part of us, and whatever we have is actually for them. And so wisdom is very paramount in the sense that don't do it out of anger, don't do it out of pressure, don't do it out of you know, what people are saying.
Yes.
Just do it as you're able to observe and see your daughter and your son that this is the appropriate time for them now to leave. So you begin now to prepare them, give them a low landing until they land. And sometimes you may get some resistance, give it more time. And don't talk like you don't want them.
Yes.
No, because that can also bring a very hatred between the two of you, as when we have seen rivalry even between parents and their children. So wisdom is very paramount, and every child has a different personality, and so we need to handle our children individually. Those who are introverts, you can't shout on them. Those who are extroverts, there's a way you have also to package the message. And so that wisdom of the mother and the father is very important. If it's not possible, get a therapist like Karimi.
Yes.
Involved, go sit down and just have a discussion. So there are many ways to approach that, but the only thing is your son and your daughter should not feel like they have been chased away, abandoned, and left to go out.
Absolutely.
It should be, you know, slow but sure. You're getting that. We also need to give them, because there's something in them that is so also very attached to us. So we need to go cutting that cord slowly but surely, but not abruptly. And then don't have words that will hurt your son and your daughter, like you keep on saying, sasa watu wengine watakuwa watu wazima lini. You don't talk such a language to your son and your daughter. You can make them become bitter with you. And that's not the essence. That's not the right way. You keep on telling, I don't know why I dreamt you. You know, being in your own house and we came with your dad, you know, you have to make it more humorous. Don't look
relatable.
Like it's, thank you. And I saw you this, and I saw you I saw like you had built a very wonderful house. Begin to create the future in them, because some of these sons, there's something, or a daughter, there's something that either happened to a friend or something that they read or they heard from a movie, and there's an information that they are following. There's a script they are following, though they are not speaking about it. So you keep on reassuring, and you're able to get them by getting closer to them, to know their fears, so that you can be able to you know, alleviate them and tell them, no, I don't think that is a big problem. We can be able to come in, we can be able to settle you up. So there are all these modalities that we can do, but there must be a very smooth transition. There should not be any friction. And so that fear comes, and that tension comes when the mother and the father becomes now hard, and they want to let you go. No, even the mothers should also sense, they should also sense what is the most appropriate time. Because this is your daughter, this is your son. And so there's something that is keeping them. And so you can be able to keep on reassuring them until they are able to make up a decision for them to go out. Alternatively, as she has said, I find also families who have like big houses. Like for example, you have a flat. You can get some houses and give your son. You can even make a gate, the same house, but the akona gate yake, and it's the same. There's a way so that you can be able to keep that distance. You know, when you stay out, they say familiarity brings content. So when you are so familiar with someone, there's something, a human being, there's a way we just handle each other. So I've seen families who have also accommodated their children and making even another gate. The house is modified because I still want the warmth of my son and my daughter now that I have no children. And loneliness is one of the, you know, Karimi can tell us, is one of the causes of mental sickness. So you're able to assess your mother and see, no, your mom and your dad, they're emotionally very fragile. So I would stay with them until I'm sure to what extent I can even come near them. So you need to handle your parents depending, because parents are very different. So handle your mother and your father, though you are their daughter and their son, there's a wisdom you have that they don't have. There's a perspective of looking at things that you have that they don't have. If your mother and your father are very fragile and they feel they have that attachment with you.
Yeah.
You can't just abruptly just cut off. No, that can bring death to them. So you have to do it slowly, but surely. It's a process. And there's nothing wrong as long as you have a plan B.
Okay.
You're getting a plan B. So that now you can also have the autonomy of feeling that you have your own freedom to be who you are. If you want to have toa like the way Isaac and Rebecca did it in the field. In the field means in the compound. You can do that with your wife and there are no cameras facing. You know, there's that freedom of a man. A man wants to have his own territory where you feel this is your home, much more as you have a dad and you have a mom. So let it be slow but sure, and the timing is very important, and also the wordings, what you're telling your son and your daughter also matters.
Important.
So there's nothing wrong if it is done smoothly.
Okay, done smoothly, with no harshness.
With
and
no
all
harshness,
that. Okay, all right. Hodge, coming to you, do you sometimes have those thoughts of like, I'm a truly move out? Even do you have thoughts? Do you think your parents also have thoughts of like, ama si ange move out to pia anzishe maisha yake na familia yake? And at what point do those thoughts come?
They usually come after I disappear from home for maybe 2-3 days. Then come back.
You disappear with
maybe friends, or just, you know, just go maybe to Vasha for 3 days without telling them. So when I come back, those thoughts come like, I can't take this. But I think about it and tell myself, maybe if I go, they'll miss me. So
are you sure they'll miss you?
I think they will. They're used to me around, you know. Aizi chukua remote. Mimi ndio nitamletea hata kani kwa upstairs. So
bado nakutuma remote.
Nitatumwa remote.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
47 and a half.
Apana, 47.
I'm in my mid 40s, late 40s there.
Wonderful.
Now bado natumwa remote.
I even say it in my content. Yes, I'm as a 47-year-old man living with my mom. Yes.
Wow.
So at this point, those thoughts come, but they're very like periodical, not all the time that you feel
it all the time.
Like you want to do that. And like, the setting at home, is it the same way you know, Pastor Sue is saying that maybe you have your own gate? Ama gate ni moja tumeona.
Gate ni moja na inafungwa 11. In fact, there is a latch. It's a latch, so I have the key. So kuna latch. So nikikuja na key na latch imefungwa.
Hawezi ingia.
But huko ndani sasa nyumba ni kubwa. You know, kuna watu wanasemanga niende nikae bed sitter. Na waambia kwa nyumba kuna bed sitter.
Ama nyumba yenu ni kubwa. Maybe hujatuambia.
That's what I'm saying. Vitanda ni mingi sasa kwa ka bed sitter.
Hivyo si lazima
sitaki kuteseka.
Actually, we have one last clip. Let's watch this one last clip. I think unaulizwa umetoka wapi.
Sasa
wapi hizo siku zote? Siku 3 ulikuwa wapi? Siku 3 nakuuliza ulikuwa wapi huko?
Nimerudi mama.
Siku 3. Unaenda na hata unazima simu.
Nimerudi.
Sasa hiyo ni kusema nini? Ama ulikuwa umeshikwa na polisi? Hiyo chakula usikule. Upike yako, hiyo ni ya dadi.
Mama, sijakula.
Hiyo ni ya baba yako, pika yako.
Sijakula.
Hiyo ni ya baba yako, pika yako. Kwani huko ulikuwa hakukuwa na chakula? Ungekula huko. Hiyo ni ya dadi.
So such moments kama hizo ndio nafikiria ama I just move out.
Ama
nasema mama niende tu ni. Lakini nakaa hivi nafikiria rent.
Unaona yezi. But it's important for people to know that you said that you take care of a few bills here and there.
Yes,
okay, let me look at some comments over here. Very interesting and contentious discussion, Beatrice, okay? In contemporary African societies, adult co-residence with parents is increasingly perceived as a sign of economic or personal dependence. All right. There's somebody here. To me, it was due to pressure from the family members. They were against my dear wife. I decided to go away from them. Okay. Sometimes you have to risk yourself because parents will not always be there and it will be difficult. Do you always feel like that, at some point, maybe you'll have to, now be on your own?
They're getting old and I keep telling them they're the most important people in my life. They're the only people I have left in my life.
Wow.
So I would want to be there as they grow old.
To hold on.
Yes, and to spend the most time most amount of time that I have, the time I have left, we spend it together.
All right.
So I don't think I'll moving out anytime soon.
All right. Yeah. Karimu, do you think he needs to also come for a session? Do you feel like there's a lot of holding on to mommy and dad over there?
There are fears, there are underlying fears, yes, that I'm picking. Yes. I think in such a case, it's also a good thing to speak to a therapist and process some of the things that are going on in your mind. Even if you're still going to stay for the time you're going to stay, it's also good to unpack. So yes, sometimes we are we have fears and we do not know. There are things that are stored in our subconscious. There is a memory brain that keeps everything that you think about, everything you experience. Sometimes we watch TV shows, TV news, we see parents dying, and they shape how we think. They shape how we see life. And it is important maybe to have somebody that can help you change some of the or rewire your thought process, and someone who is objective, who is not going to maybe insist lazima uende njia, lazima uende njia. Someone who is going to help you navigate around your life based on the dynamics of your personal life.
All right, okay, thank you for that. All right, we're starting to wind up. Karemi, your parting shot, and just putting everything together. The two scenarios, the people who do it out of goodwill, and also the other people who they just want to be under somebody's roof with those fears, and maybe not wanting to just be out there and be responsible.
So thank you so much. So in short, this is what I'll say, that every case is unique. We cannot treat the issue of living with parents, we cannot generalize it. And even for you who is thinking about it, who is questioning yourself, should I be living with my parents or should I not? Or should I go back? And because I'm seeing there is a trend, or there are people that are living with their parents and they're comfortable, I would encourage you, do not make decisions based on what you're seeing. Sit with somebody, sit with me, come and meet me. Let us talk about your life, yes? Let us identify the reason why you're with your parents. Is it because you have underlying fears and maybe attachment issues that we need to process and change your thought process? Or are you living with them out of need because some issues are genuine, like taking care of the parents, like the idea of a loss and grief season that you need support, some form of emotional safety. And then now there is someone else who doesn't want to work. You don't want to take responsibility, you don't want to stretch, you don't want to push yourself hard. Unfortunately, some of the things that you won't face at an early age, even in the old age, you find yourself facing. And unfortunately, these are things that can cost you more things like family members, family. You get married to somebody, to a lady who is hardworking and all that, and you're not willing to work. At some point, she might choose not to live with you anymore. And so you lose a family. So see me, come and see me. I am at Spamwell. Yes, sure. And you can also call me on 0729-795131, or you can also check us on at ishconsult.com. That's our website, and I assure you, we will walk a beautiful journey and we'll unpack what you need to unpack in your life.
All right, I love that. Okay, Hoch, let me come to you. Parting shots was to anybody who's watching and they're feeling okay, maybe encouraged or discouraged that kumbe analipanga bills. What would you say to them?
First of all, thank you for having me.
I
want to big up my mom and my dad. They are watching me from home.
You definitely have to.
Now they know where I am, so they can give me a leeway of around 15-20 minutes past 11.
So hata huwezi pitia mahali atuone mabesi.
Ndio nasema nitapewa 20 minutes, sasa umesema nitapitia mahali.
Oh, pole.
But anyway, a parting shot maybe. People have different reasons. Never judge a person why they live with their parents. Maybe some others are financial. They have financial problems. Others like me, they want to be closer with their parents. Of course, there are those ones who don't want to take responsibility. And it is not right. I don't say it's right, but it's okay. Yes.
No judging.
No judging. Oh, and you can follow me.
Yeah, sure.
On my platforms, Instagram and TikTok. My name is Coach Day.
Watch there. Please follow him. You laugh throughout. He's
and I'm not moving out.
And he's not moving out anytime soon.
Yes.
Wow, umesikia. All right. Pastor Silva, you finish the show for us strong.
I just want to say that that was a very powerful discussion. And I also want to thank Mohoro for being very real. And also our psychologist, Karimi. Thank you for always being there. And our beautiful queen. And I want to say that to all the people who are listening to us, that we have a medical center in Kasarani called Clay City Medical Center at Seasons Stage. Before I became a pastor and a counselor, I have been in the medical field for over almost 25 years, over. And so when you come there, we deal with erectile dysfunction, especially with men, premature ejaculation, side effects of masturbation. We also give palliative care for patients who have cancer to be able to boost your immunity so you can be able to fight the virus. We also reverse high blood pressure, and we also reverse diabetes and arthritis, anything that involves medical. Infertility in women, we have a medical team, and whatever we are not able to handle, we are able to refer, and that's what we have been doing for over 25 years. I want to let the people know that there is solution. People should never get mental diseases or even mental sicknesses because of what they are going through concerning their sexual life. If you're there, you're struggling with anything, feel free to come and consult us, and we are going to help you. My number is 0712 265 746. 0712 265 746. That's my personal number. When you call, when you text, that is the number that I'm gonna talk to you, and we are able to settle out all those issues that are disturbing you. Until next time, say what?
Say what? Oh my goodness! Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was amazing.
That was great.
Mohoro, that was great.
Amazing,
that was great. All right, let's just look at let's just take a look at some feedback that, of course, we have with regard to our conversation. Let's take a look at that. Let's go. All right, that girl Smurf is saying neither, given the lack of jobs in the country. Of course, maneno ya pesa by then ngumu. All right, let's also look at another one over here. Okay, this is Flip Genius. He's saying kama Yesu hata waleo kama anaishi kwa kushoto mwa babake. Who am I? Umesikia Mohoro, mtu anasema kama Yesu anakaa bado kushoto kwa babake.
Mimi nani?
This is nani? SK Koske, this is me, but I'm a lady. All right, moving on to another one here.
I enjoyed it.
Okay, this one is Tony Esanda. You're saying
Jesus is still living.
He's still living in his father's house. Who am I? Who is he to move on? All right. Kimweli JM, it means your parents are rich. A poor father will kick you out by age. Lazima nyumba ikuwe kubwa ndo mtoshe. Progress Siara, si hata wengi mko Nairobi mkiulizwa mbona mnauza. Wengi wanasema ni rent inafanya. Ai. Mama yo. Florence Mtutu, you're saying hiyo ni kama kurogo. My goodness, I am Cynthia Chiri Mutai saying, it depends. What if your parents are old or sick and there's no one to look after them? Staying at home is good. In fact, you can do your own projects and live a better life than those in town. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. Moving on here, Austin Babu, you're saying, heri kelele ya mam, kuliko kelele ya landlord. Actually, Mohoro had said heri kelele ya bibi ya mama kushinda ya bibi. Favorite Don G, you're saying, I don't think so. Sometimes life will happen. Wazae, hawana connections, and uko jobless. Yeah, I mean, makes sense. That also came out very strongly, of course, on the show. And you know what? We just want to say thank you so much for watching the show. It's been fantastic having you. We'll see you again next week, God willing. Till then, of course, be kind to one another. And of course, my girl Katela is coming up next with Irie Vibes. Namona nakafiti leo. And of course, she's prepared a really, really great show together with the amazing director, Nonda. All right, so we're going to say good night. Thank you so much for watching. Say what? Good night, guys.